It's Saturday, July 28th, and it's a therapy session, vent session, whatever session it is. I think you can pretty much stick a fork in the Giants after tonight. It's as the Giants lose 7-1. This is Giants Roundup on Saturday, July 28th. You can follow on Twitter, join the Cricket Kite page on Facebook. Most importantly, please be kind and hit that subscribe button. No, what could go wrong did go wrong in tonight's Giants game. They now fall to 52 and 54 on the season, 2 games under 500. The Giants are now 7.5 games back of the division, 5.5 games back of the wild card at this point. And I think it's got to say the fat lady is warming up at this point. And it started in the second inning when Eric Kratz singles to right. It scores Thams. It's 1-0 Brewers. And then Christian Yelich singles to right. It scores Kratz and Arcia. 3-0 Brew Crew. Then we go to the fourth inning. Arcia singles to center. Tham scores 4-0. And then Christian Yelich home run to center field. 5-0 Brew Crew. But that would be the end of the line for Johnny Cueto. He only goes 4 innings, allows 4 earned runs. His ERA balloons to 3.23. And what's worse is this is likely the end of the season for Johnny Cueto, as he is still suffering from pain, as he did not look right tonight. He did not even have a fastball over 89 His velocity was way down tonight. It was 89 miles per hour on the fastball tonight. And Johnny Cueto will be going to see the doctor tomorrow. And realistically, I think it's the 2 words that we didn't want to hear. We were dreading from Johnny Cueto, and it's likely going to happen. And it's looking like potentially Tommy John. And it's unlikely. I don't think Johnny Cueto is having constant pains in his throwing elbow. But he's been trying to fight off Tommy John, and I think what's more likely than not, we are going to see Johnny Cueto get shut down for Tommy John surgery. So he's likely done for this season and the 2019 season. Question is, who's going to replace Johnny Cueto in the rotation? The choices are not that great. They could activate Samardzija, who himself is hurt. I would not want to go with Samardzija. Another option would be Ty Block. No. Block has not been great as a starter. But I think the more realistic option for your number 5 starter is likely Chris Stratton. I think Stratton's going to go back in as your I think what's most likely going to happen is Chris Stratton's going to slot back in as your 5 starter for the rest of the year. And now the Giants are going to have to go out and maybe be in the market for Patrick Corbin or for somebody else in free agency this offseason, with Cueto likely out for next year. So now the Giants are almost going to have $30 million committed to two pitchers who are hurt, with Cueto likely going to have Tommy John, and then Samardzija, who's having dead arm this year, and he himself is trying to avoid surgery. Yeah, so next year they're paying $22 million for Cueto to have Tommy John surgery. That's not good. And then so you're almost having $40 million being paid to two pitchers who are battling injuries and who are likely done for the year. Realistically, yes, not the options aren't great. Samardzija's 1-5 with a 6.25 ERA. Stratton 5.18 5.14 ERA. He's really had hard times as of late. And then the other option would be Ty Block 6-6, 4.45 ERA. And then your call-up options could be Pierce Johnson. It's either going to be Pierce Johnson or Tyler Rogers. I realistically would like to see Tyler Rogers get slotted into that spot. I would like to see the Submariner get an opportunity to pitch for the Giants here during the month of August. And maybe Cueto's injury could be a golden opportunity to call up the Submariner at this point. But after that, Ty Block comes in the game, and he wasn't any better. Yelich hits a home run, 5-0. Aguilar singles to right. It scores Lorenzo Cain 6-0. Then the Giants finally get a hit, and it's a home run by Nick Hundley, 6-1. And then Eric Thams scores on Ray Black's wild pitch, 7-1 is your final score. And the Giants only get 4 hits tonight. Lorenzo Cain, 4 for 5. Eric Thams, 2 for 4. Orlando Arcia, 2 for 3. Chacin goes 7 strong, allows only 1 earned run. And that's the story of the Giants. And now Milwaukee is a half a game out of the wild card with the Cubs losing tonight. And at this point, what do the Giants do? I think if it weren't any more obvious to sell before Cueto's injury, now Cueto's injury makes it more convincing that the Giants need to sell at the deadline. And then after the game, the shit show was on KNBR tonight. Harry Schulman had his hands full with a lot of angry callers, and they are right to be angry, especially if you're hearing the rumor that the Giants are looking to acquire Brian Dozier. Really? Why do you want to bring up another 31-year-old fucking washed-up veteran? We already have Longoria and Panic, who's likely done with the Giants after this year. I mean, you really want to become the senior circuit? At this point, the Giants are probably going to finish with back-to-back sub-500 seasons for the first time since the 07 and 08 seasons at this rate. And the front office just really looks clueless. This is just really starting to remind me of Jed York during the year of Jim Tom Sula, and it could get that. And that's what could be worse about this offseason. They could decide to part ways with Bochy, then insert Hensley Mullins as your Jim Tom Sula type of hire. That could be something that unfortunately could be realistic, as the Giants keep spinning shit. The front office keeps spinning shit. That is absolutely false. That fans don't want to see a rebuild. Actually, reality check, the fans want a rebuild. Fans are okay with it. You're not. Actually, reality check, attendance is going to continue to suffer worse if you keep putting the same product out there. This is just the arrogance I saw out of Jed York when he fired. This is almost the arrogance of Jed York before he hired John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. I've seen this with the 49ers for a while. And then of course Jed York had compared Jim Tom Sula to Steve Kerr. I don't know if both I with the Giants refusing to rebuild, what is going to happen this offseason? And I think it's going to be something that I think it's going to be Bochy that's going to become the scapegoat this offseason. I think what's going to happen is they're not going to rebuild and they scapegoat Bochy to save face. And what would be the worst case scenario? Say, Hensley Mullins could be that Jim Tom Sula for the Giants just to save face. But you know what? At least Larry Baer can't say you don't fire owners, period, because you know what? Larry Baer does have to answer to other shareholders in the ownership group. I really think the ownership group needs to have a Dr. Phil moment at this time. You have a problem. You trade away all your prospects and now you're losing. Get yourself some prospects. That's what Dr. Phil would say at this point. It's okay. And now you're really going to see the rotation suffer with Chris Stratton starting every 5 days. But I think the Giants could be screwed for a long time to come if they are not careful. These bad contracts are really starting to catch up to the Giants, and Larry Baer may have to pay for his sins. And unfortunately, it's looking like a scapegoat's coming. And most fans know, and most fans are on to the ownership at this point. But yeah, maybe not do a teardown at this point. Here we go. Here's the KNBR website, which let's say the Giants do trade some of their big contracts off. Longoria, 38, would be owed $80 million. Now, look at all these terrible contracts the Giants have on the 130, 100. Yeah. Well, the next 3 years, the Giants are, next 2 years, they're going to have $130 million in payroll committed to veterans. Your best trade chip might be, it might be time to listen to the Yankees about trading Andrew McCutchen. But this roster, unfortunately, it might even be too old to fire sale this team. It's your best trade chip may be Brandon Belt this offseason with the emergence of Joey Bart. At some point, Posey's going to have to probably move to first base. And 20, and granted, Melanson and Samardzija come off the books in 2020. That's 40 million of shit coming off the board there. But Crawford, he's definitely a good investment. Belt, maybe you can get a return from Brandon. But if the Giants aren't careful, they may have to trade somebody like Brandon Crawford just to get prospects. And yeah, Bumgarner would be owed 20 or is owed 12 million next year. But the front office has to stop being arrogant. Realistically, they need to start listening to offers for Derek Holland. Listen to offers for Sam Dyson. Try to get something back at the deadline if you want to salvage anything for the season. I just don't think the playoffs are here. And you're really going to have a rotting, aging core coming up. I really wonder what tonight's and through the month of August and September, you really could start seeing the attendance take a big hit. And tonight's attendance for the Giants was, it was a sellout. Okay, it was an advertised sellout, but there was still a lot of empty seats. But we're just going to be going through a lot of familiarity. And I think a lot of 70-win seasons could be coming for the Giants if they are not careful. But if they keep being arrogant and try to add another rotting veteran to this team, it just might be time for the front office to have that Dr. Phil moment. All right, we did have some trades made on Friday. It looks like Asdrubal Cabrera was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's do my buyers or sellers team. And it's the Texas Rangers. They should sell at the deadline. They already got rid of Hamels. Try to find a taker for Shin-Soo Choo at this point. If not, move him through waivers. Find a partner for Diekman. Even try to find a trade partner for Adrian Beltre at this point. I think Jeff Bannister won't be back in Arlington next year as they are going to go through a long rebuild in Arlington for the Texas Rangers. And D-backs trade Eduardo Escobar for Joan Duran, Gabriel Maciel, and Ernie de Trinidad in that trade. Sam Tuiovala traded to the Seattle Mariners for Seth Elledge. Asdrubal Cabrera traded to Philadelphia for Franklin Colomb. Ryan Presley traded to Houston for Jorge Alcala and Gilberto Celestino. Moustakas goes to the Brewers. Brett Phillips and Jorge Lopez go back to Kansas City. Chasen Shreve goes to St. Louis. Giovanni Gallegos for Luke Voigt. And we've no moves made today. We shall see about tomorrow. Let's go to the MLB Roundup for tonight. The LA Dodgers beat the Atlanta Braves 5-1. Taking the win is Alex Wood, taking the loss despite and walks 4 batters in 5 scoreless innings. Max Fried takes the loss for the Braves. Manny Machado goes 2 for 3 for the Dodgers. Yasiel Puig hits his 12th home run of the year. Sam Freeman allows 2 earned runs in 1/3 of an inning pitched. Johnny Venters leaves with an ankle injury. In Miami, the Marlins beat the Nationals 2-1. Taking the win is Brett Graves. Taking the loss, Calvin Herrera. And Herrera loses on an unearned run. Ain't that the pits? And the Nationals are 52-52. Not a good place to be at the deadline. In Houston, the Rangers beat the Astros 7-3. Taking the win is Ariel Jurado. Taking the loss, Justin Verlander, who strikes out 7 in 5 innings pitched. Verlander leaking a little oil as of late. Roned Odor 5 for 5. Elvis Andrus 3 for 5. Odor hits his 9th home run of the year. Joey Gallo his 26th home run of the year. Austin Beavens-Dirks 2 earned in 1 inning pitched. In Boston, the Red Sox beat the Twins 10-4. Good buddy. Taking the win is Rick Porcello. Taking the loss, Jake Odorizzi, who surrenders 5 earned in 5 innings pitched for Minnesota. Logan Morrison hits his 13th home run of the year. Matt McGill 2 earned in 1 2/3 innings pitched. Taylor Rogers 2 earned in 1 inning pitched. In Colorado, the Rockies beat the A's 4-1. Taking the win, Antonio Sanzatella, who only allows an earned run despite surrendering 4 walks. Taking the loss, Brett Anderson 4 earned in 6 innings pitched for Oakland. Matt Chapman 2 for 3. Cargo 3 for 4 for Colorado hits his Arenado hits his 27th home run of the year. Oakland falls to 61 and 45. Colorado 56 and 47. Just a half game back of the wild card at this point. The D-backs beat the Padres 9-4. Taking the win is Archie Bradley. Taking the loss, Phil Maton, who surrenders 2 earned and 1/3 of an inning pitched. Tyson Ross goes 2 for 2 as the opposing pitcher tonight. Jeff Mathis 2 for 3 for Arizona. Daniel Descalso 2 for 3. Patrick Corbin strikes out 8 in 6 innings pitched for the D-backs tonight. In St. Louis, the Cardinals beat the Cubs 6-2, taking the win. Miles Mikolas taking the loss. Jose Quintana, who gets pounded for 6 earned in 3 innings pitched for Chicago. One of those days. Marcell Ozuna goes 3 for 4, hits his 11th home run of the year. The Tigers beat the Indians 2-1, taking the win. Blaine Hardy taking the loss. Mike Clevenger, who strikes out 8 in 5 innings pitched. In Cincinnati, the Reds beat the Phillies 6-2, taking the win. Wandy Peralta taking the loss. Tommy Hunter. Joey Votto goes 3 for 4. Jose Peraza 2 for 3 for the Reds. Vince Velasquez strikes out 5 in 5 innings pitched. Matt Harvey 5 in 5 innings pitched. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates blanked the Mets 5-0, taking the win. Tyler Williams taking the loss. Jacob deGrom. Adam Frazier goes 3 for 4 for the Pirates. Gregory Polanco 3 for 4. deGrom going 2 for 3 hitting wise, so providing his own offense tonight. Robert Gesselman, 2 for 3 for the Mets. 2 runs in 1 inning pitch for the Mets. In Baltimore, the Orioles beat the Rays 11-2, taking the win. Kevin Gossman taking the loss. Ryan Stanek. Trey Mancini goes 4 for 4. Joey Rickard 3 for 4. Caleb Joseph 3 for 4 for Baltimore. Mancini his 13th home run of the year. Rickard his 6th home run of the year. And then Jalen Beeks comes in. Welcome to the Rays. 8 earned in 3 1/3 innings pitched for Beeks. Not a good night. In the Bronx, the Mets, the Yankees beat the Royals 5-4, taking the win. Dellin Betances taking the loss. Brian Flynn. Neil Walker 2 for 3 for the Yankees. Rosel Herrera 3 for 5 for Kansas City. In Chicago, the White Sox beat the Blue Jays 9-5. Beat them 9-5. Do do do. Juan Minaya gets the win, taking the loss. Ryan Tepera, who surrenders 4 earned without recording an out. Kevin Smith 2 for 3 for the White Sox. Russell Martin, 2 for 3 for the Blue Jays. And John Axford, your opener today for the Blue Jays. Tyler Clippard, 2 earned and 1 in the third innings pitched. Jaime Garcia, 2 earned and 1/3 of an inning pitched. Lucas Giolito, the bad one, Giolito starts today, 5 earned and 4 in the third innings pitched. And in the OC tonight, the Angels beat the Mariners 11-5, taking the win. Jaime Barria taking the loss. King Felix, who surrenders 7 earned and 2 2/3 innings pitched for Seattle. Ian Kinsler, 3 for 3. Francisco Arcia, 3 for 4. And King Felix's ERA is 5.58 on the year. Casey Lawrence, 4 earned and 4 1/3 innings pitched. Noe Ramirez, 3 earned and 2 innings pitched for the Angels. And tonight down on the farm, the Iowa Cubs blank the River Cats 2-0. Joe Panic goes 1 for 4. Kelby Tomlinson 1 for 3. Trevor Brown goes 2 for 4. Gordon Johnson, not bad, but does surrender 4 walks in 5 innings pitched. Josh Osich, an earned run. Beatty actually not too bad tonight. 1 2/3 scoreless innings. Tyler Rogers a scoreless inning. I think we will be seeing Tyler Rogers up by tomorrow. Hopefully. I'd rather see, to be honest, Tyler Rogers give the Submariner a chance over Pierce Johnson. But more likely than not, they're just going to probably call back up Pierce Johnson, despite my objections not to. And in Fresno, the Grizzlies beat the Storm Chasers 3-2. Fresno improves to 62-44 on the season. Jordan Alvarez 2 for 3 for the Grizzlies. Garrett Stubbs 1 for 3. Brady Rogers 2 earned and 6 innings pitched. Rogelio Armenteros picks up his first save, pitching 3 scoreless innings. Well, mercifully for the Giants tomorrow will be the home finale. Just try not to get swept. And for the Giants for the month of August, don't mail it in, please. Or else Bochy will not be back next year if you keep mailing it in. Just please be the stopper tomorrow. Andy Suarez is on the mound tomorrow for the Giants. It'll be Andy Suarez going up against Junior Guerra, so just try to get a win tomorrow. Just win 1. Then the Giants start a roadie after tomorrow. It'll be a weird week. We'll discuss that more tomorrow. But everybody have a good night. And we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.